What up, dudes? It's Gaz, and welcome back to the Warframe video. So, almost forgot to make this in time. We've got the bingo predictions for the dev stream coming out tomorrow. It's going to be the last dev stream until Tennocon. And yeah, we already know kind of what they're talking about a little bit, and I'm not expecting too much in here. But we can speculate and have a little bit of tongue-in-cheek fun along the way, okay? So don't take this video too seriously. It's one of those, like, cynical, kind of, like, jokey videos that I like to make every dev stream, which is not every month anymore, apparently, just whenever they feel like it, or they can wake up on time. So, if you enjoyed my channel and all that stuff, make sure you're subbed and all that. We got hundreds of videos and hundreds more on the way. Yeah, covering all that good stuff, hoping the Warframe picks up the pace a little bit here in the future, and especially getting that cross-save and cross-play out hopefully very soon. So, we're going to give some predictions here, have a little bit of fun, so sit back, relax, and pretend you're actually doing work at your work. Alright, so you have the bingo card for May Warframe dev stream, and this was made on bingobaker.com. What a great name for a website for making bingo cards, right? Alright, so you can of course make your own, and this was just, I hit the shuffle button to make sure like things weren't too easy, but yeah. The rows and columns might not be properly balanced, but let's just get into it anyway. Okay, so my first prediction for this May dev stream is gardening reveal. So if you've been looking at the Dorma Zone, which is the new player housing-ish thing that's accessible, there is some gardening looking like planters in the front of it that we have no control over currently, and Rebecca said in a previous dev stream that might be for something in the future. So I'm going to go ahead and say there's a very high likelihood that gardening or like growing plants is added for these little planters right here, or at least discussed in their dev stream tomorrow. So yeah, another useless minigame to throw on the pile. Hopefully it progresses while you're offline. Like, if I have to be constantly doing stuff to make those plants grow, that's even more annoying than in real life gardening. So yeah, if it's some like AFK like auto leveler thing, like, I mean, it's about to be a mobile game at some point, so that would be par for the course. But yeah, I don't like gardening really. I'd say gardening in real life is actually more rewarding than it'd probably be in this game, but we'll see. Next one, teaser for Tennocon reveal. This one's pretty much a free space right here. This is the last dev stream before Tennocon, so they're definitely be talking about like, oh hey, like they're gonna like tease it like the Viri Battle Royale mode or something like that, which is a joke, of course, but, you know, something like that could potentially happen, I guess. Maybe they'll talk about, like, the Void Dragon that we saw in that Deviri trailer or whatever. Like, we'll see what ends up happening. I have my own predictions for what's happening at Tennocon. We'll go over that in the future. All right, next one, third Necramech. And what I mean by third Necramech is we only have two Necramechs. So you've got the Void Rig, and we've got the Bone Widow, and I feel like having like a magician or like ability-focused Necramech could be kind of cool. Maybe one that has like a Kamehameha blast, a Hadouken, maybe even like a sniper-focused Necramech. Because we got Void Rig, which is like machine gun and kind of like Rhino Iron Skin synergy, I guess. And then we have the melee one, the Bone Widow, which is focused around like healing, light crowd control, and then that big sword that does a good amount of damage. Now they buffed it. It used to not do that much damage, actually. So that's a random prediction. I mean, why would they add a third Necramech if they don't have... We can hardly use them in any missions. So I guess that's kind of a weird prediction, but at the same time, I want a third Necramech. For what reason? Hopefully they add some content that actually requires a Necramech that isn't the 5 minutes in the new war. All right, moving on. No mention of Gyre Lightning nerf. So I actually don't really play or like Gyre that much. But people that have been playing a lot more Gyre than I have, were actually analyzing. So when she first was released, her fourth ability, which calls on like a lightning strike when you get a critical hit, that like had like no internal cooldown. So it was calling down like constant lightning strikes in the area. If you use like a high crit weapon like the Verma Splicer, the Amprex, the Brahma, whatever. It was just a constant lightning storm and it made her have pretty good damage if the enemies were like armor stripped and stuff. But since then, they've actually added a cooldown, or an unseen cooldown, like a hidden cooldown on how often the lightning can strike. I think it's like 2 times a second or something like that. I really, like I said, I don't really play Gyre that much, so I haven't really hyper-analyzed how much lightning strike she's getting. But I can definitely tell you from like the small amount of playtime I have on her, it is definitely less lightning strikes now. So I wouldn't be surprised if they didn't talk about that. It is definitely not a change that people that play Gyre have been appreciating. But me as a non-Gyre player, I do appreciate it because it was really blinding before. And she still is kind of blinding. So I wouldn't be surprised if it is completely glossed over that and we never get it changed back or even mentioned ever again. So sorry people that bought Gyre or farmed Gyre. It just isn't allowed apparently. Next one, finishing off this first row, we got no mention of Nightwave. Yes, Nightwave is a thing. Me very, very casually doing the Nightwave, and I've been doing like every little challenge. I've hit level 30 at this point, and I skip most of the challenges to be honest. So people that have been like try hard on the Nightwave are probably like way past where I am, like rank like 50 plus is my guess. So yeah. They'll probably not even talk about it, though, because this is pretty much maintenance mode as far as I'm concerned. It's called Nora's Remix Volume 1. Like, they could just slap a 2 on there, I guess, and reset it so like another Umber Forma, but I'm not really holding my breath on them talking about this. It's just pretty much a bunch of free stuff they're giving away. But yeah, hey, at least we got the Tigress Combat Reload mod and Range Advantage for the Extragara. Remember those videos that no one watched? I didn't even watch them either. Those were terrible videos. Those mods suck. Protea Deluxe mention is the next space we have here. Protea Deluxe was mentioned like months and months ago, and I think they said it was supposed to come out sometime soon. So that'll be coming with a Tonkor skin, and I think that's it. So Tonkor skin and Protea Deluxe skin, which looks pretty cool. Maybe they'll talk about it or show it on the dev stream. All right, so we do know that they'll be getting us new arcanes for operators. Not sure for other stuff, but there's a high likelihood some of these arcanes are going to suck. So if they show us them and they're like bad effects, like on operator void sling, reduce Eximus overguard by 10%, stacks up to 5 times or something like that. Like I have a feeling there will be some bad arcanes because there were some bad arcanes with the Angels of Zariman update, like Emergence Renewed, I think it's called, where when your operator dies, you get like a instant revive. It's like a once every minute cooldown kind of thing. I don't know. That just doesn't seem very good. If that was for the frame, that would be nice and lazy. But for operator, it's kind of meh. So yeah. Next space next to that actually kind of correlates with what I was just talking about. Operator is the new anti-overguard. So if you are someone that complains about overguard and Eximus being too hard, first off, I'm sorry to hear that. But second, you might have been paying attention to seeing that they said there will be a new operator arcane based around overguard. So I have a feeling that operators will be, being pushed even harder for dealing with high health Eximus overguard units. Void damage has an increased multiplier against overguard, but it still doesn't even feel that strong. So maybe they'll increase that some more as well. This next one is really fun, and I kind of hope that we do get a crossover event sometime soon. But yeah, a crossover event. So this one's got a little bit of a story to it. I was like scrolling through some games on Steam last night, and I saw the game Smite, which you've never played Smite. I've never played Smite. It's a MOBA kind of game where it's like a click fest, and it's kind of like a MOBA like Dota or like League of Legends, but also mixed with like a third-person shooter. But getting over that, they have Slipknot, the band Slipknot, they have skins in the game. So you can play a MOBA as the singer of Slipknot, or like, rest in peace, the drummer of Slipknot. I don't think he has a skin, but you can play as the other members of Slipknot, not Joey, of course. And I love Slipknot, so they actually made me kind of want to play the game. But how funny it would be if we had a crossover event like that in Warframe. Like, what would you... Here's a question for you guys. If you got this far in the video, you made it in 9 minutes, you're a trooper. What kind of crossover event would you like to see in Warframe? Would you like to see an anime crossover? Maybe like My Hero Academia? That'd be kind of cool. Or would you like to see... That would make no sense at all, though. Or would you like to see something like another game? So maybe Path of Exile, or Destiny, or whatever. Like, maybe a TV show or a movie. Let me know if you guys think about a crossover event down below. We kind of had a crossover event with the mobile version of PUBG, but we didn't get anything from that. So I want a crossover event where the actual Warframe players get something out of it. That would be nice. And honestly, at this point, who cares about immersion breaking? We have so many dumb things in this game that are immersion breaking that has been completely tossed out the window, as far as I'm concerned. So, yeah, moving on. We should probably expedite this a little bit because I like to talk, obviously. All right, Latum nerf. I was kind of running out of ideas to put for stuff on here, but a Latum nerf. It is by far the strongest pistol we have in the game. But it's an Incarnon weapon. It requires lots of work to like fully max it out, so they better not nerf it. But I could see, like, people are always asking, like, when's the AoE nerf going to be coming? I wonder how long until they nerf AoE. Latum is crazy strong. It has some bug interactions with some abilities, but the main thing is, like, it is crazy strong even without any bugs. Just, like, you pick some good Incarnon modes, put some decent mods in there, it's going to blast away the Steel Path like it's nothing. Blast away the Steel Path Eximus, too, so... It is so egregiously strong, but at the same time, so is the Fenmore with the anti-crit, like, 20x Bane mod multiplier. So we'll see. Double credit weekend. This one might as well be free, too. They got to throw in some double credit weekend, double XP weekend, because they can never give us a double resource weekend ever again. Because if you didn't know this, ever since Steel Essence was added in, like, 2020 or whatever it was, we have not gotten a double resource weekend ever. It might have been even before that. Like, we have not gotten a double resource weekend in a long time. I feel like they will never, ever give us one again because we'd be farming so much Vitus Essence, so much Steel Essence, that why would you even log in? You'd log in to roll Ribbons, and then, like, I don't know. I wish they would give us one of those, but they're not going to, so. Next one, replayable Angels of Zariman quest. This is kind of just like a troll one I threw in there because, like, the update's going to be called Echoes of Zariman, and the Echoes of War update earlier this year made the new War replayable. Yeah, maybe they'll make the Angels of Zariman replayable. But then someone pointed out in Discord that usually the open world intro quests aren't replayable, so this one's not replayable, but the new war is. So I guess you could kind of view it like that, but I'm just cynical sometimes, so you have to bear with me. All right, let's get through these answers here. The free one, Echoes of the Empty Dormo Zone. As we said, the update is called Echoes of Zariman. Well, as you saw in my Dormo Zone, that thing's pretty much empty, so there's plenty of Echo in there as well. So they could rename it to Echoes of the Empty Dormo Zone as far as I'm concerned. Next one, more Void Shell skins. Some Void Shell skins for some other frames would be nice. I like those skins. For the most part, lots of customization is available. And, you know, like, they pick some pretty popular frames. How about we get one for, like, some still popular frames, but maybe not, like, the most popular frames? Like, how about actually, no, if you're going to make one for Nezha, it should probably be the Nezha Deluxe at base, or the Nezha Prime, because normal Nezha kind of looks dorky compared to the Prime and the Deluxe. So maybe Nezha, maybe like Titania, or not an invisible frame. Probably don't waste your time on an invisible frame. Like, if you made one for Ash, he's going to be invis the whole time, so you won't be able to see the skin you work so hard on. So we'll have to see about that one. Next one, next Prime Resurgence date. One of the devs did say Prime Resurgence will be returning on their, like, prime time, wherever those random streams of the week are called. They said that Prime Resurgence will return, but we need a date for it, so maybe they'll talk about the date on the dev stream. Next one, the devs like the Dormo Zones a lot. Pretty much most people I've talked to do not like the Dormo Zones, but it just seems like one of those things the devs would think is like so cool. It's like, you have your own little Tenno apartment, and look at how useful it is. And then we're like, okay, I'll look how useful it is. Oh, it's not useful at all. Then that's what I'm like, okay, we're adding gardening. I could definitely see that segue going in there where it's like, well, hey, Steve, the Dormo Zones aren't very feature-rich, are they? It's like, well, good thing you asked that. We're actually adding gardening so you can grow spices in your Dormo Zone. So, perfect. So, if they like show any inclination that they like Dormo Zones, I think you could fill that one in. Next one, man, these people won't shut up about this. Soulframe. So apparently DE like copyrighted or something like that the word Soulframe. A lot of people think it's going to be a new game. I don't think it'll be a sequel to Warframe. I think it'll be a separate game. I'm thinking like an Elden Ring ripoff, like, because duh, the word Souls. I mean, you ever played a Dark Souls game before? Those things enemies drop and you kill them, they're called Souls. Dark Souls 1, 2, 3. Yeah, and they love Elden Ring because Elden Ring is good, so maybe an Elden Ring ripoff with, I don't know. I actually have no idea what it will be. I think this will be more of a Tennocon reveal, but they might at least acknowledge it, because if you look at their Twitch chat, people are always like, Soulframe, Soulframe. So maybe they're getting annoyed enough they'll have to acknowledge it. Maybe they're not allowed to legally acknowledge it. We'll have to see. Next one, remove Void Armageddon. You know that game mode that like no one likes on the new Zariman ship? No, not Void Flood. I'm sure some people like that one, actually. Basically the one that's not Void Cascade, Void Armageddon. It's basically like a reskin of Defense with a Void Angel and some useless turrets thrown in the mix. Yeah, that. They could just remove that. So maybe they're like, hey, no one's playing this. It's really, because it's also really buggy. That was the reason I didn't play it at launch. It was so buggy. Might as well just remove it. So That one's pretty hard, but that's also in the column of the free, so you have to definitely earn that column right there. Next one, Korra Primal Ready. This will probably be a Tennocon reveal, but the only thing that's reliable in this game is every 3 months you get a Prime Access. So whenever Garuda Prime Access came out, count down like 90 days from that one, and that's when you're going to get probably Korra Prime. So if they show it, great. If they don't, expect it in like a month or two. Next one, before we get into the final row, usage charge for the rework focus. I think this is actually kind of interesting to see because they did do that big focus rework. Let's see, like how many people are playing with Unairu, how many people are playing with Necramech, and so on and so forth. I'm actually kind of interested in that. See if the Zedirect numbers went down, see if the Mandarin numbers went up, etc., etc. So that could be kind of cool. And they do sometimes show stuff like that. So maybe. Next one, an off taste elevator joke, where they joke about the elevator being buggy. That would be really dumb, but they do make jokes like that a lot of the time, like about nerfing Mesa and stuff like that. So if they make a joke about a buggy elevator, you can fill that one very easily. Void Sling details. Now we do know this is pretty much confirmed they will be talking about this. Let me know when they allow us to call it Void Dash again. Change the name of it in game back to Void Dash and change everything back pretty much, which is what you're doing, and then we're fine. Just wasted a couple months of dev time, but whatever. Next, Pets 2.0. I've really wanted to make some videos on like specific pets in this game, but the real big problem is pet survivability is complete garbage, like really, really bad. If you don't have like a lot of health or a lot of like armor or whatever, or even if you do, these pets die all the time at like level like 100 plus content, even lower than that, unless you're running like a Panzer Volpophyla, which has a built-in regeneration ability if you mod for it. So the rest of this other stuff, like I can't make a video on this. They're just going to die when you go into a normal mission. So I would really appreciate some pet survivability changes. I'm going to probably make a full video on it in the future if they don't talk about it tomorrow. But like there should be a way to revive every pet in the game one way or another. Even when it completely bleeds out. Bleeding out pets in this game is kind of lame, if you ask me. We have all this space magic and technology, but my doggo, like it was bleeding out for 10 seconds and now it's permanently dead for the rest of the mission. Like, what? I'm playing Garuda. I have magical blood that can heal anything. Why can't I heal my doggo? It's kind of stupid, but we'll see. No mention of crossplay, cross-save. I don't know if they could even get away with this for an entire dev stream, but maybe. Because you know everything in the Twitch chat's about to be like, wins crossplay, cross-save, wins this, wins that. And they do read their Twitch chat, and yeah, they ignore a lot of the messages, but if nearly every message is crossplay, cross-save, Steve is not going to be able to contain himself, and he's going to have to make a comment on it. So that one might be pretty hard to fill in if they don't mention it, but hey, if they do mention it, that's a good thing. Then the final one, they finally remembered to buff Caliban. I always harp on this one, but hear me out. When Caliban was introduced during the New War update, they said in the patch notes the day after they made Caliban's fourth ability, like pull enemies in, not blow them away, which is what it used to do if you watch my old Caliban video. They said there will be more changes to Caliban on the way once we get back from like vacation or whatever. They came back from vacation and Caliban never got another change ever again. So yeah, I'm not saying he's a weak frame, but he is like one of the newest frames in the game, and like he has actually the worst ability in the game, I'd say. I was actually going to make a worst abilities tier list, and Caliban's one honestly might be at the top of the tier list. It is really, really, really bad. Takes away your guns, does terrible damage, drains energy. I don't even know if you can pick up energy orbs in this thing yet. It's terrible. So they could probably just remove it. Like, I would actually just rather have no ability so I don't accidentally press the button. And as you can see, I actually have that subsumed off in every single config because that ability has no use to me. So yeah, hopefully you guys found this video helpful. It was about 20 minutes, but hey, I like to talk. I like to hang out with you guys and just talk Warframe, talk video game and all that stuff. So if you guys are looking for a crossover event, let me know which game or, piece of media you'd be interested in the crossover event in down below just for fun. And I'll see you guys later. I will be live streaming the dev stream too. So come check out the live reactions. I'll try to be, I'm not going to try to do anything. I'm just going to be me, because that's what this channel is. This is me. This ain't fake. This is all me. All right, guys, I appreciate it, and I'll see you next time. Take it easy. Peace.